was for the last city meeting.
It was. I think it's interference, cell phones and the speakers. Brandon, we're ready if you are.
Yeah. Are you doing the roll call and who's doing the roll call? Yeah. Awesome.
Guess Randy's not here either.
Yeah, no, and we're at 7, so I'm gonna go ahead and call. All right, I'd like to call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on April 8th, 2019 to order. I'd like to record the commissioners present. Call the roll.
Brandon Andrews.
Here.
Tony Mitchell.
Aye.
Eric Pedersen.
Here.
Kevin Hahn.
Here.
All right. First order of business is approving the agenda. All of you guys have received a copy of the agenda. Call for a motion.
A motion.
Second.
Second.
Brandon Andrews.
Aye.
Tony Mitchell.
Aye.
Eric Pedersen.
Aye.
Kevin Hahn.
Aye.
All right, second order of business is approving the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on February 11th, 2019. Do you hear a motion for that?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, call for vote.
Tony Mitchell.
Aye.
Brandon Andrews.
Aye.
Kevin Hahn.
Aye.
Eric Pedersen.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up is going over the meeting procedures. Planning and Zoning Commission holds public hearings as required by law and provides recommendations to City Council on all matters relating to comprehensive plans, zoning map amendments, subdivisions, text amendments, special use permits, public infrastructure projects, and other matters affecting land use and development within the city as provided by the city's adopted ordinances and Missouri state statute. Any person who has interest in the subject matter of a hearing will have the opportunity to provide testimony and present evidence to the Planning and Zoning Commission during the public hearing. Each item on the Planning and Zoning Commission agenda is discussed separately and in the order presented on the agenda, unless amended by the commissioner or by the commission. Speakers are required to conduct themselves in an orderly and respectful manner. Disruptive behavior, including applause, yelling, speaking out of turn, or other inappropriate behaviors will not be tolerated. Additionally, the following applies to any person willing to address the commission. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. Speakers must use the podium unless previous arrangements have been made by the chairman. Speakers must legibly write their name and address on the sign-in sheet at the podium prior to the speaking. Speakers must begin by stating their name and address, and speakers should speak clearly and into the microphone. Planning and Zoning Chairman, myself, will announce the subject of the hearing, followed by a staff report and presentation by the Community Development Department. The chairman will then open the public hearing to the applicant, followed by those in favor of the application and those opposed to the application. The chairman will close the public hearing during this time, and the commission will discuss amongst themselves. The public may not address the commission after the close of the public hearing unless requested by the chairman. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall base their recommendation and or decision on information and evidence presented during the public hearing. This decision, if required by the application, will be forwarded in writing to City Council for further consideration. With all of that being said, appreciate you guys all showing up tonight. Appreciate commissioners for showing up. And we'll go right into the first hearing. This is sub D 19-003, Avila. Possible vote to recommend the approval of an application for a preliminary plat for Avila, a residential subdivision consisting of 48.5 acres at 7012 West Farm Road 170. Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. Turner Residential Holding LLC has requested the review and approval of a preliminary plat for Avila, which is subdivision 19003. The area in which the Avila subdivision is located is right off of US Highway 60 on Farm Road 170. The property consists of 48.5 acres located at 7012 West Farm Road 170. The property is zoned high-density single-family residential and is currently utilized for agricultural purposes and contains one agricultural structure located adjacent to Farm Road 170. For discussion and analysis, again, they have asked for the review and approval of a preliminary plat. The preliminary plat consists of 139 residential lots and zoned high-density single-family residential, common area, detention, streets, infrastructure, and then access to West Farm Road 170. On the screen you'll see the actual plat, the preliminary plat for Avila. The preliminary plat, you can see, consists of the roads, the individual lots. There are several tables located on the preliminary plat giving the square footage of each individual lot. Each individual lot also has the dimensions of the lot displayed on each lot. There's also stormwater in the northeast corner of the preliminary plat, and then the configuration of the streets and cul-de-sacs and general locations and easements for stormwater, water, and sanitary sewer lines. The preliminary plat is reviewed by the planning staff and then also the technical review team, the city engineer, for a series of criteria listed in our zoning ordinance. Several of them indicate the preliminary plat will not endanger the public health or safety, will not injure the value of adjoining property owners, it will be in conformity with the comp plan, the transportation plan, zoning code, water and wastewater facility plans, and other plans adopted by City Council. It will also be in harmony with the area in which it is located. Several pictures of the respective site. The road you'll see that's West Farm Road 170 looking east. Right now the field it's just a bare agricultural field. Consistency with the comprehensive plan. Again, it has been reviewed. The preliminary plat consists of 139 residential lots. They are zoned the high-density single-family residential with a minimum lot size of 7,000 square feet for each lot. The actual plat of Avila contains 28 lots containing a minimum of 7,000 square feet, and then 111 lots containing a minimum of 8,000 square feet. The preliminary plat contains a new north-south collector. You'll notice that on your preliminary plat, it's on the eastern side of the subdivision. It will be constructed as part of the development. The collector is identified by the city's transportation plan and also the major thoroughfare plan connecting Farm Road 170 to the south. The development also connects Heritage Street, which is located at Old Town and Kerr Place subdivision, all the way through the prospective subdivision. A traffic study was submitted, reviewed, and approved as part of the preliminary plat review process. The water and wastewater master plan compliance includes the connection to a water main located parallel to Farm Road 170 and also on Heritage Street, creating a looped water system. The development will also utilize the existing 8-inch gravity sanitary sewer system that actually runs west to east across the property, flowing to the McElhaney lift station and then Schuler Creek before being pumped upwards to the treatment facility. Zoning code, again, 139 single-family residential lots. The associated infrastructure includes the public streets and sidewalks, public water and sanitary sewer systems, and stormwater detention. This particular parcel doesn't have any floodplain located on the parcel. There are 2 identified sinkholes. The applicant has provided us with a sinkhole analysis report that was reviewed and approved by staff. It also includes a 30-foot setback required by Republic City Code located around each of those sinkholes. Stormwater, the preliminary plat includes an area of detention of approximately 1.75 acres designed to control the release of stormwater from the actual development. The infrastructure design, the design of the street, sidewalk, water and sanitary sewer systems, and the stormwater detention comes next during the infrastructure permitting process. And staff does consider the preliminary plat in conformity with the requirements for the preliminary plat approval and is recommending the approval of the application. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the hearing. At first, we'll start with any public comments in favor of the application. Is there anyone that would like to step forward and speak on behalf of the application? Is there anyone with public comment opposed to the application? Step forward at this time. Okay. Closed. Commissioners, what questions do you have for the city? All right. I'm going to close the hearing. I'd like to motion a recommendation to vote on sub D 19-003 Avila. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Kevin Hahn,
Aye.
Eric Pedersen,
Aye.
Brandon Andrews,
Aye.
Glenn Mitchell.
Aye.
That approves. Hearing's closed. Move on to the second hearing, which is sub D 19-004, Charlotte's Manor. Possible vote to recommend the approval of an application for a preliminary plat for Charlotte's Manor, a residential subdivision consisting of 9 acres at the northeast intersection of Kansas Avenue and West O'Neill Road.
Thank you.
Yep.
Karen Rand and Rex Pittman have requested the review and approval of a preliminary plat of approximately 9 acres for Charlotte's Manor. The subdivision consists of 28 residential lots, zoned medium density, single-family residential, associated streets, and infrastructure. The subdivision that we're speaking of tonight is located at the northeast corner of Kansas Avenue and West O'Neill Road. The property to the north, it's actually 2 parcels, was recently rezoned last year. The subdivision that we're speaking of tonight combines those 2 parcels into one for a new residential subdivision. You'll see on the screen the preliminary plat for Charlotte's Manor. There's one new entrance off of West O'Neill Street, and that connects to Ashton, which is the road that runs through Stanton Estates to the north. And then there is a east-west road with a cul-de-sac at one end of the property and a temporary hammerhead at the other end of the property. There are 2 existing homes on the property. They are located on Lot 1 and then also Lot 24. Those 2 homes will remain, and their access to Kansas Avenue and West O'Neill Road will remain for each of those parcels. Several pictures of the particular site. Again, the road you'll see in the bottom is Kansas Avenue. And right now, the majority of the 2 parcels is just open agricultural space. Consistency with the comp plan. The reference preliminary plat contains 28 residential lots. Again, zone medium density single family residential with a minimum lot size of 9,000 square feet. The plat of Charlotte's Manor contains 28 lots ranging in area from just over 9,000 square feet to the largest lot at just over 26,000 square feet. Again, there's one new connection to O'Neill Road. The 2 existing homes will continue to utilize their current access points on O'Neill and Kansas Avenue. The development connects to Ashton Avenue to the north, contains one new entrance into the development off of West O'Neill, and roughly 1,400 feet of street and sidewalk, which will be dedicated to the city during the final plating process. The site is currently served by Republic Water and Sanitary Sewer Systems. The preliminary plat indicates a new connection to the 10-inch water main located on the west side of Kansas Avenue, and it will connect to the existing 8-inch, the sanitary sewer 8-inch running parallel with South Kansas. The wastewater will flow to lift station number 2, which does have sufficient capacity to serve the development. For zoning code compliance, the 28 lots, medium density, and the associated infrastructure, including public streets and sidewalks, water and sanitary sewer systems, and stormwater detention, does meet the zoning code. There is no floodplain on the property, and there are no identified sinkholes. The preliminary plat does indicate the utilization of the existing stormwater detention area located in Stanton Estates. This is lying directly adjacent to proposed lots 11, 12, 13, and 14 of Charlotte's Manor. A preliminary stormwater report was submitted and reviewed by staff as part of the preliminary plat review process. A more comprehensive stormwater report, along with the associated stormwater drainage easements, will be required during the infrastructure design process prior to moving forward. Again, for infrastructure design, the street, sidewalk, detention, water and sanitary sewer systems, along with that stormwater detention, will be reviewed and approved during infrastructure permitting. And staff does consider the proposed preliminary plat in conformance with the requirements of the ordinance and is recommending approval of the application. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Now move to open the hearing. First, we'd like to hear public comment in favor of the application. Is there anybody who'd like to step forward and talk in favor of the application?
My name is Dave Bodine. I'm with Pinnacle Design Consultants at 304 West Erie in Springfield, 65807. Quick thank you to Karen and Garrett, the rest of the staff. They were a tremendous help during the process. And Karen did such a thorough job of review of introducing our project that I really have nothing to add, but wanted to make myself available for questions.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to come forward and speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone that would like to step forward and speak opposed to the application? Commissioners, do you have any questions for the city? All right. Hearing is closed. Do I hear a motion to vote on sub D 19-004 Charlotte's Manor?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Call for vote.
Brandon Andrews,
Aye.
Tony Mitchell,
Aye.
Eric Pedersen,
Aye.
Kevin Hall.
Motion passes. And that ends the hearings for tonight. Next is citizen participation. Is there anyone that would like to step forward, citizen participation? Once, twice? All right, closing citizens participation. Next is the Community Development Department update.
Thank you. On your clipboard, you'll have two separate pieces of paper. The residential building and inspection project report from January to date for March. So in the month of March, we permitted 16 new single-family building permits. That's a total of 49 residential single-family permits for the year of 2019 to date. And then you'll have residential and commercial inspections listed for March of this year, 54 residential inspections and 18 commercial inspections. The second sheet is the technical review team's project status report. This is from January 1st to date, so through the month of March. We have all of our current projects listed on the first portion of that page, so the commercial development project status. Those are all the projects, again, that are under construction from 2018, and then the status of the projects for to date for the commercial projects for 2019. We haven't had any rezoning cases. We will have a rezoning case coming up, so they'll be updated this next month's report. We have 2 PDDs, and then a series of subdivision and infrastructure permits. So various stages of preliminary platting, final platting, and then infrastructure construction for those. Several minor subdivisions today also. There are several ordinances that staff is currently researching and will bring forward to you at some point in the future. And then the last portion is I've written just a short project description for each of the major projects. So we have the Backwoods Golf, some Edward Jones infill project, the Republic Ford's new building, the short description of the minor subdivisions, and then a description of the major subdivisions that we have to date. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have on this report.
Thank you. Any questions? Comprehensive plan update?
I'll just want to keep this brief, since we have our workshop coming up next Tuesday evening at 5:30. Everybody here is, of course, invited, and I'd like to encourage everyone to come and listen to what we've got going on there. So between now and then, I want to show everybody, we do have the website for the comprehensive plan project up and running. It's soar2040.com. So pay a visit there, check out the content there, and then like us on Facebook at facebook.com/soar2040 if you have Facebook, and also on Twitter. We've got content rolling out on both of those platforms regularly, so it's a good way to monitor progress about the project and to hopefully in the end engage with other people on those platforms. So put some time in, take a visit to all of those things, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Tuesday.
Thank you, Garrett. At this point, there's no more business to be discussed. Do I hear a motion for adjournment? Motion. Do I hear a second?
All right.
Eric Pedersen,
Aye.
Kevin Hahn,
Aye.
Tony Mitchell,
Aye.
Brandon Andrews.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We also have an Instagram page if you guys are more into that.
I liked it all.
You did? Very
Done
good.
everything I could possibly do.
How did you forget about
Scared people,
Instagram?
like,
Facebook's so old.
there's some people that are like freaked out that it's gonna get that big. I'm like, hey, I like big cities.
And we know for a fact, May, we do have
Facts here real fast.
Yes, we will definitely have a meeting in May, so go ahead and plan on that.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss it, Gary, it's next week, but I'll be out of town.
That's okay. There's a video that we're going to show premiere next Tuesday, but it'll be up on our website. So,
I will
and
check it
it
out.
will
I
also be on
promise.
YouTube. So you can catch up then. Thank you, Brandon.
Yep, see you guys.
Sinkhole, where was it that you were thinking it was?
It's crazy.
Bye, Tony. Have a good month.
It was kind of
Let's have a good one.
a low.
Enjoy the warm weather.
You too. See you in May, or see you Tuesday.
Tuesday.
At one time, it was pretty low, so I don't know if it's cycle or not, but it's an impression.
looks like it just ponds right there, and it may be, I don't know what this is, but it may have been created because the water used to go right here, now it no longer can.
Charlotte's Manor?
That's,
Yeah,
that's been,
it's not a sinkhole.
that's been there ever since forever.
It is a low area though, and we were aware of that and asked them to include, finished floor elevation for the 4 lots in that area, which they did include.
All the things.
Unless it turns out to be a sinkhole. We'll find out the hard way.
I'm with you.
Thank you, Terry.
Scott, you bet, how's Scott today?
Wore out. Started in Kansas City at 6 this morning, went on a field trip with my son to the zoo, and ended up down here at 16. So, a long day.
Yes.
And
You're not gonna drive back tonight, are you?
no,
You want all my stuff here?
I will take these two,
My wife and kids will move.
and then I will take anything that you don't want and recycle that.
Okay. You have all this.
It was a long day.
I'm taking my 2.5-year-old Thursday to the rules.
Ooh,
See how that goes.
that sounds like fun. Is that gonna be the first professional
Yeah,
baseball
for him.
game?
He won't remember, but
They give them
That's
You will remember though.
2.5,
I know.
Ed.
Kansas City.
You gonna take my, formal tools with you?
no. No. Well, I have a 2 and a 1-year-old. My wife's we're expecting to get
Oh, congratulations.